Alright, so now my meat has been cleaned in vinegar and water for like 15 minutes. Now I'm going to go ahead and chop it up into smaller pieces so it could be easier to put in the crock pot, since I do have another big ass piece to cook. So that needs to be cleaned while I'm cutting this one up. So that's what I'm going to do first. And then hopefully get into the chiles. So based off of the video that I saw, this is Guajillo chile, Arbol chile, and Ancho. So basically you have to take all the seeds out and clean it out as much as possible, because then it's going to just help whenever you get into further cooking, when you strain it and all that stuff. So the more you take the seeds out, the better. And I'm cutting down a little bit of the quantity of what it said on the video, because I only have 4 pounds of meat and hers said 5 to 6 pounds. So I just put 1 chile less than what she said. But I do like spicy, and I think this is supposed to be spicy, the Arbol. So I did add more than what she recommended. About to cut them up and see what happens. So good morning. I didn't wake up at 5 like I wanted to, but because of the rain. But anyways, so the pot already has the 4 pounds of meat, a whole onion. The lady said to basically cut it to where it was open, exposed, a garlic with the shell paper. I don't know what the hell it's called. 4 bay leaves is what I put because they were pretty big. A whole cube of the chicken Knorr, and then garlic powder, and then onion powder. Haven't put salt yet because she says to put salt once you have the juguito, the juice or the sauce, whatever you want to call it. So now I'm about to I'm about to fry these peppers, so then I can put them in the blender. So that's my next step. So now what I'm about to do is fry these chiles until I have them all done, so then I can put them in the blender. So this is the next step. Okay, I'm back. So I fried already all the peppers. So now I'm about to put them in the blender with water, and I'll tell you what's the quantity of water that it needs to be. Please hold. So now what I did is I added 4 cups of water, based off of her instructions, and she said just let it basically soak in there. They're gonna shrink and shrivel up. They're gonna absorb the water, and then after that, then you basically put these peppers into the blender, and then you start adding some of this water, since it has all the flavor of the peppers, as the water you're gonna use for the blender. Okay, BRB. Okay, so all the chiles got blended with basically 4.5 cups of water, the same water that I had the chiles soaking in. Now we're about to strain it over the meat, so that way I don't even have to use something else to like pour it in and then strain it still, you know. So I'm just gonna strain it over the meat like she did, and then I can turn on my crock pot, and then we wait 5 to 6 hours on high, is what she said. Okay, so after I strained everything, I went ahead and did it over the crock pot, so that way I can just use this. And now I'm ready to actually turn it on and put it on high to cook from about 5 to 6 hours. If you put it on low, she said 6 to 8 hours. So I'm just gonna do high. I'm gonna be home anyways until it finishes. Later on in the process, she tells me to put salt. Right now, it has no salt, just garlic powder, onion powder, a whole garlic, and then a whole onion, and then about 4 bay leaves is what I have in here, and 3 cloves, and then the seasonings. So I'm about to pray that everything comes out good, because if not, this was a waste of money. Well, here goes my first attempt at making birria out of chuck roast. I prayed over my food so it can come out good, at least edible. Doesn't have to be perfect, but at least as long as we can eat it and it tastes good. 4 pounds should feed us all. and maybe even my niece if I take her some. Yeah, I told my sisters that if they come, they need to bring their own tortillas, because I only bought an 18 pack. All right, wish me luck. So we have officially hit the 2-hour mark, and at the 2-hour mark is where she basically said to add 2 more cups of water, which I just did. So now we have the consommé building, and then also to add 1 tablespoon of salt first. Taste it and then keep adding salt until you finally get it to where you need it. Or you can also use well, not or, but you can also use the chicken Knorr thing. And so far it tastes pretty good. I tasted already my consommé and the flavors there. So now we have 3 more hours to cook. So we have officially hit the 5 hours mark. Look at that onion, how it's actually like separating, and it actually looks pretty. And then here's the garlic. It's still in the whole piece. The meat is very tender. I'm still gonna give it another probably 30 minutes just to see how much more tender I can get it. But so far, this is what it looks like. And Mario said it's, what is it, babe?
Delicious.
And last night he told me, don't be like stressed out if you don't get it on the first try. And I kind of was, because we spend a lot of money on getting the stuff to do this, and then for it not to come out to even taste good to where I can't eat it, that was going to be disappointing. But he said I got it on the first try. He said instead of a 100, which is how he scores my food, I got a 1000. So my consommé tastes bomb. And look, I don't have a lot of grease because my meat was it was kind of like fatless. So there's not really that much to skim off of it. But yeah, we're about to eat probably like in 30 minutes, because I'm gonna let it cook a little bit longer for 30 minutes, so it could be 5 hours and 30 minutes. Okay, so the pot is finally turned off. I think 30 minutes for sure have passed, even probably a little bit longer than 30 minutes. It's like boiling in there. We tried the meat again for the second time, and it is still so good like the first. So gonna let it stop doing that boiling part and get ready to make the tacos. My quart is a my Crockpot is a 5 quart, and it fit about 4 pounds of meat. Here is the final product. I made 4 tacos right now, so we can each eat 2. They're sort of crispy, not all the way. The consommé cup, cilantro. We don't like onions, so cilantro and this, and a little bit of hot sauce. So yeah, final look. So out of the 4 pounds, this is all I have left. Those 2 pieces right there is fat. This is all meat, the consommé. So I'm making more. So which way do y'all prefer it? This is the tortilla dipped in the consommé and then fried. This is the tortilla not dipped in the consommé, but the oil turned it this color because it's the same oil the chiles were cooked in. So it becomes this golden color. This is when it's dipped in the consommé.